We're eating up a lot of time writing letters by hand. We have left undone what we ought to have done. We dance to the music. We are engaged in a difficult task. We have to bring our teaching methods up to date. We investigated the matter from all angles. We communicate by means of language. We have a good opinion of your invention. We enjoyed our travels in Europe. We must all take care to preserve our national heritage. We camped on the border of the lake. We all pondered over what had taken place. We traveled around the country by car. We are never so happy nor so unhappy as we imagine. We supply parts to the auto manufacturer. The president says we must beef up our military forces. We were all rather exhausted. We are comfortably established in our new home. We felt the house shake. We were forced to work hard. We had a good opinion of your son. Let's ally ourselves to that group. We have limited resources. We hit the right road in the dark. We got all the materials together. We enjoyed watching the game. We've fixed on starting next Sunday. We should sometimes expose our bodies to the sun. We marveled at the little boy's eloquence. We hope to come to an accord with them about arms reduction. We have not kept pace with the latest research. We walked more quickly than usual. We saw the lady carried away to the hospital. We are all eager for him to win the Nobel Prize. We must rescue the environment from pollution. We escaped death by a hair's breadth. We fought for everyone. We made him go there. Our views are in agreement with theirs as to the essential points. We bargained that we should go on a 5-day week. We were greatly relieved to find that the worst dangers were over. We finally decided to give him over to the police. We have to bring the matter to a close. All of us devoted ourselves to the development of our country. We should not be influenced in our decisions by our prejudices. We were denied transportation. We have to make a close analysis of the accident. We won hands down, because the other players were weak. We elected Mr. Jordan chairperson. We stood on the top of the mountain. We must look into the matter at once. We were crushed into the crowded train. We all share the heartfelt wish that he and all the others will pass the admission examination. We ordered some new books from England. We took turns driving the car. We face competition from foreign suppliers. We will discuss the problem with them. We were surprised at the news. We were not prepared for the assault. We talked to each other for a while. We found the footprints in the sand. We were talking to each other all the time. We should stick to our plan. We didn't help him, so he did it off his own bat. We all suspect him of murder. We painted the house once, then went over it again. We are attracted by what you are. We voted for the candidate. We were watching the child at play. We've run short of money. We deal in silk goods. We took a turn around the city in our car. We have come to an arrangement with the dealer about the price. We skied down the slope. We are all impatient for our holiday. We bought the goods at $3 a dozen. We live in a cozy little house in a side street. We looked for it here and there. We definitely heard that sound. We are facing a violent crisis. We balloted for the resolution. We cannot subdue nature. We often associate black with death. We live in the age of technology. We have a lot of sympathies in common. We usually met at a certain place in the city. Ever since we've been wearing clothes, we haven't known one another. It behooves us to do our best. We were compelled to put off our departure. We went on talking about the matter. We hope to have done with the work before the holidays. We must observe the traffic regulations. We spent the major part of our holidays in the country. We killed time by playing cards. We can get along very well without you. We have to cope with hosts of difficulties. We are looking forward to hearing from you. We turned a corner and drove north. We prepared for an attack. We left the final decision to him. We gathered all the books together and put them in the spare room. We sat up half the night just talking. We discussed the problem. We spoke to no purpose. We are all but ready for the cold winter. We must feel our way carefully in the dark. We think we are over the worst. We are trying to keep the wolf from the door. We received an immediate answer to our letter. We went by bus as far as London. We fought for our lives in the storm. We have 3 meals a day. We all worked at the company by the hour. We discovered relics of an ancient civilization. We will crop the field with cotton this year. We flew to Paris, where we stayed a week. We stood at the door to welcome our guests. We found a secret door into the building. We will never agree. We are in the era of atomic energy. We left a margin for error in our estimates. We had native guides on our trip to the mountain. We must hand down our craft to posterity. We went early to make certain that we could get seats. We left early so that we can catch the first train. We are apt to waste time. We import raw materials and export the finished products. We beat about for a solution to the problem. We will never give in to terrorist demands. We discussed the matter at large. We didn't want to go, but we had to. We associate Darwin with the theory of evolution. We found a secret passage into the building. We climbed along the stream in the mountains. We are to preserve nature. We should read the newspaper so as not to lag behind the times. We confirmed the hotel reservations by telephone. We elaborated on our study plan. We value punctuality. We were able to settle the matter finally. There is no need for us to hurry. We need to communicate with each other. We made a promise to meet at school. We will get through the jungle somehow. We can dispose the car. We were financially troubled, in short, we were bankrupt. We must know about it. We cannot follow your plan any longer. We had to abandon our plan. The whole building has been put at our disposal. We agreed to refrain from smoking while we are at work. We have to get at the truth of the matter. We should act so as to solve the problem. We shared the benefit together. We all had such a good time. We should try to look at the wider problem. We arrived first. We've been matched up with some strong teams this year. We all went in search of gold. We knocked at the door for 5 minutes, but in vain. We never repent having eaten too little. We are bored with the joke of professorial custom. We fought a hard battle. We must look at the problem from a global point of view. We had to obey the foreign law. We didn't go very far. We can have dogs, cats, birds, and so on. We began to sail in the direction of the port. We must not go to war again. We all suffer from it to some degree. We must instill patriotism into the young people of today. We have to transmit our culture to the next generation. We saw the film and had dinner together. We kept on working for hours without eating anything. We began to see what we can deduce from it. We must control our passions. We talked over the plan with him. We often fail to realize the extent to which we depend on others. We have established friendly relations with the new government of that country. We toiled up a hill. We gained admittance to the meeting. We eat fish raw. We must be alert to dangers. We eat a meal 3 times a day. We saw another ship far ahead. We returned to Honolulu on April 2nd. We obeyed the rules. We chopped our way through the jungle. After much debate, we decided to spend our holidays in Spain. It is important that we should do our duty. We took turns with the driving. We are inclined to think that most dogs bite. We bedded down at the roadside park for the night. We need action, not words. We all wondered why she had dumped such a nice man. We are free from danger. We lost sight of her in the crowd. We have to call on him tomorrow, at any rate. We made a pact that we wouldn't abandon one another. We were filled with anger against the murderer. We went as far as Kyoto. We almost broke our necks trying to meet the quota. We are influenced by our environment. We got an interesting piece of information. We stand for liberty. We have discussed the problem several times, but to no avail. All of us want prices to decline. We must make a close analysis of the causes of the accident. We have to abolish all nuclear weapons, because they are deadly to mankind. We have to start at once. We regard the situation as serious. We are all in agreement. We were all amused with the comedy. We learn by experience. We would play baseball after school in those days. We had a rough crossing on an old ferry. We set out when the rain had eased. We stood face to face. We must keep up with the times. We defeated various enemies. We are familiar with the legend of Robin Hood. There was nothing for it but to tolerate it. We yawn when we are short of oxygen. Circumstances forced us to put off the meeting. We have to save for a rainy day. We're booked for the whole month on Broadway. We lost on that job. We made camp near the lake. We're in no danger now. We all desire success. We actually saw the accident. We had a rough time. We must work hard to break down social barriers. We must carry out that plan. We walked as far as the park. We had the luck to win the battle. We crawled like so many ants along the mountain pass. Your help is vital to the success of our plan. We were moved to tears. We failed to grasp the meaning of the word. We have to do a great deal of reading. We must abide by the rules of the game. We abandoned the project because of a lack of funds. We made arrangements to meet at 6 p.m. on Monday. We should do away with the death penalty. We have to put right what we have done wrong. We came to an agreement in the end. We are influenced both by environment and by heredity. We have the alternative of going or staying. We are liable for the damage. We gave the performer a clap. We have to reduce the cost to a minimum. We sat on a bench in the park. We were all shouting at the same time. We need more workers. We lifted the table with our combined strength. We can count on him for financial help. We must prevent a war by all possible means. We searched the woods for the missing child. We turned left at the corner and drove north. We discussed the matter. We gained the top of Mt. Fuji at last. We got involved in a traffic accident. We put up at a lakeside hotel for the night. We consider it the citizens' legitimate right to have public libraries. We are constrained to and restrained from inaction. We did our best only to fail. We stayed at a hotel by the lake. We found the front door locked. We captured the thief. We explored all possible ways of cutting expenditures. We often eat fish raw. We are all in daily pursuit of happiness. We came upon them in New York. We grew up within our family circle. We were disappointed because we could not carry out our plan. We cannot exclude feeling from our experience. We voted against the bill. We went together to Laramie, and there we parted. We didn't actually see the accident. We pressed on, regardless. We were completely victorious. We express thought with language. We will reap rich rewards later on in life. We have come a long way. We take air and water for granted. Even now, we still doubt that he is the real murderer. We waited with a faint expectation. We set out on our journey full of hope. We must do our job as best as we can. We depended on the newspapers for information about it. We are suffering from a severe water shortage this summer. We debated the problem. We climbed up the mountain, but with difficulty. We climbed Mt. Fuji last summer. We enjoyed playing tennis. We must prevail against our rivals by all means. We'll go for a drive next Sunday. We talked over Jack's plan to put in air conditioning, but could not come to a decision. We are getting on first rate.